Former President Jacob Zuma's appeal against keeping veteran prosecutor Billy Downer on his case has been dismissed by the Pietermaritzburg High Court. Judge Piet Koen delivered a summary of his 60-page ruling.
Mr. Zuma has pleaded not guilty to all the charges, and he remains to be tried. Permitting an appeal only at the end of the trial is practical, because if Mr. Zuma is acquitted, the time spent on any appeal against the dismissal of the special plea would have been wasted, would amount to a waste of limited judicial resources, and would have no practical significance. Resorting to appeals prior to the finalization of a trial results in delay, fragmentation of the process, and the determination of issues based on an inadequate record. There are no compelling considerations to the contrary, requiring that an appeal be permitted now. It is furthermore inimical to the interests of justice to permit an appeal if the appeal has no prospects of success.
In dismissing every single one of Zuma's legal challenges, Koen had some harsh words over the misuse of the court's time.
Insofar as possible entries of irregularity can be discerned, and I'm thinking here of the directive that are issued for the exchange of affidavits and Mr. Downer's alleged conflict of interest, they are furthermore, with respect, frivolous, absurd, and insofar as they are devoid of any prospects of success, they would amount to an abuse of the process of this court, all as provided for and contemplated in Section 317(1) of the Criminal Procedure Act. The application falls to be dismissed on that basis too.
Well, Judge Koen says Zuma's trial, which is nearly 2 decades in the making, must continue as soon as possible.
Where that leaves us is that the criminal trial should now resume. It had previously been agreed by all the parties that the trial would proceed during the second and the third terms of the 2022 court calendar of this court, commencing from the 11th of April 2022, to which date I had in fact adjourned the trial on the 26th of October 2021. We shall reconvene for the trial to resume at 10 o'clock on the 11th of April 2022. The legal representatives of Mr. Zuma and Thales, that is accused number 2, must please ensure that they will arrange with their clients to be present in court on the 11th of April 2022 at 10 o'clock.
To get more reaction on that verdict, let's go back to the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where Siphamandla Goge is standing by. Sipa, what's the reaction been to that verdict? Sipa?
No.
All right, we'll just sort out a few technical glitches with Siphamandla Goge in Pietermaritzburg. We'll have more on that breaking news in President Zuma's application for leave to appeal the dismissal of his special plea. I think we have him now. Siphamandla Goge, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, my brother, loud and clear. Well, yeah, the former president's application has been dismissed, so we are waiting to hear what's the way forward now for the former president, but his legal team, through his spokesperson of the foundation, Zwanele Manye, saying, well, they will exercise their right, they will fight tooth and nail. It appears as if after consultations and taking some instructions, they will be going all the way to the Supreme Court of Appeal. They will petition the Supreme Court of Appeal direct to say the lower court, the Pietermaritzburg High Court, has dismissed our application. Please grant us an ear. We would like to present our case to you. Please listen to us. We believe that you may arrive at a different conclusion.
Sipa, what are the prospects of the success of them petitioning the Supreme Court of Appeal directly?
Well, they can write to the Supreme Court of Appeal and ask for audience, say we have a case and we think you can listen to us. Whether they will be successful or not, the chances are very slim based on what Judge Piet Koen said. According to Judge Piet Koen of the High Court sitting in Pietermaritzburg, there are no reasonable prospects of success for former President Jacob Zuma's application for leave to appeal. In other case, he says it will be a waste of time to grant this leave to appeal because in any event, there are no prospects of success. He says the former president has an option to appeal towards the end of the trial. No matter the outcome, if and when he feels like appealing, he can exercise his right at the end of the trial to appeal. And that is something that his legal team and his foundation has taken an issue with, to say, no, we want to deal with this matter now. The judge is saying the issue of piecemeal approach will take time. It will delay the trial. Rather, let's get on with the trial, and then later on, depending on the outcome, if and when you feel like you still need to appeal, you can appeal. You've got that right to do so. And they have a right to write and petition the Supreme Court of Appeal. Whether they will be successful in that regard, it's only the Supreme Court of Appeal judges that can decide after receiving their correspondence to say, okay, we have looked at what you have sent to us. We are of the view that there is no need to listen to you. Or, okay, come and present your case. Let's hear what you say. So up until they undertake that process, we can only know once they approach the Supreme Court of Appeal. Remember, in terms of the options here, if they also fail at the Supreme Court of Appeal, they've got an option to go to the Constitutional Court to say, the High Court in Pietermaritzburg has dismissed us. The Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein has dismissed us. We are coming to you as the highest court in the land. Now we feel that our client's constitutional rights have been violated here. He will not get a fair trial. We want you to grant us an audience. Please listen to us, because the lower courts have refused to listen to us. If they are not successful there, the highest court in the land, then they will have to come back to the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. We commence with the trial, which has already started, by the way. The former president has pleaded not guilty. Now, when he pleaded not guilty, that was the start of the trial. On the 11th of April, that was a postponement date that was set down by Judge Piet Koen to allow all these appeal processes and the pending application by former president to challenge the earlier judgment by the very same Judge Piet Koen to dismiss his initial application, the special plea application, where he wants the state lead prosecutor, Advocate Billy Downer, and the rest of the NPA prosecutions team, by the way, to be removed from prosecuting his corruption trial. He argues that he will not get a fair trial. Judge Piet Koen has said, hang on, whatever you are arguing will not affect the trial. Let's get on with it. If you are not happy towards the end of the trial, you can appeal.
All right, Siphamandla Goge, thank you so much. He's been covering that breaking news from the Pietermaritzburg High Court, and stay with us.